Okay, good morning and welcome back to the support sessions for CHCDIV002, promote Aboriginal and or Torres Strait Islander cultural safety. My name is Sarah and I am running the support sessions each week for the sci-fi course for these units, and each week we'll be working on an assessment task. And then after those, if any students want any support, I'll run some drop-in sessions into the classroom. We can come in and ask questions or queries and just a bit of guidance with any assessment tasks. Okay, first we'll do acknowledgement of country. TAFE Queensland acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and respect the continuing connection to land, waters, cultures and family that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples uphold. We pay respect to elders, past, present and future. We recognise that teaching and learning has taken place on country for over 60,000 years, and two-way learning is an important part of our reconciliation journey. Okay, so assessment support session objective. So I'm here today to support for the unit CHCDIV002, and we'll be looking at assessment 2 today. I'll guide you through with some tips and pointers. And then if you have any questions after watching the recording, please reach out via email to the sci-fi team and we'll get back to you. Okay, so the assessment task for this unit, so one was due yesterday, it looks like. So assessment task 1, the written was due on the 8th of May 23. Assessment 2, which we'll look at today, is the written knowledge activities due on the 22nd of this month, the 22nd of May 23, and then assessment 3 is an observation, and that's due on the 5th of June. So 3 assessment tasks due. However, today we'll just have a quick look at assessment task 2. So let's have a look what we're doing here. So let's go through these. Question 1. So question 1 is list 3 examples of key legislations that have been passed that affect Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. You research this in Learner Guide, libraries, internet, you'll come up with these. So 3 of these, and make sure you include the date the legislation was passed, okay? At the end, there's in brackets, there's always a date of when it was passed, so make sure that's included in your answer. Question 2, so respecting the diversity of culture is essential to cultural safety of the workplace. So list 2, it asks you to list 2 culturally appropriate practices that you model within your workplace or while on campus. So if you think about culturally safe practices, what would provide an environment that is culturally safe, and what personally you do or do you do to model this cultural safety? Okay, make sure you explain your answer. So something you can do or something you can think a little bit deeper. What could you do like to provide a culturally safe environment? So like a strategy as to providing a certain area for certain cultures, to practice what they believe of what they need to do at a certain time throughout the year, throughout different periods. So just try and think a little bit outside of the square, so outside of the box. Okay, question 3, explain why 2 of the following issues. So there's 4 there. There's 4 lists below: European settlement, loss of land and culture, racism and discrimination, and power relations past and present. So pick 2 of these and then explain why 2 of these following issues impact on the engagement of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in in community services and health systems. So it's really important to read the question here and explain why the issues. So not so much what the issues are, you can explain that a little bit, but actually why these issues impact the engagement of services. Okay, so it's the why. What has that led to? Why have these issues led to impacting minimal engagement of services for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people? Okay, probably on these paragraph on each, so good few sentences, good 4 or 5 sentences, at least just to explain your answer. So question 4, what might impact your own culture? What impact might your own culture have on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people's engagement with the services, so in your workplace? So if you self-reflect, do some self-reflecting on your own culture and beliefs, and you should be able to identify maybe some Western practices or beliefs, if that's, if that's part of your background, and how that may impact on a different culture, on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. So it's just really asking you to sort of reflect, understand, and explain. So, common practices that are in your own culture, and be able to link that to potential effects in the Indigenous culture, okay? Or people with, not the same beliefs. So no more than 500 words, so that's, a fair bit. So if you could write a few paragraphs, good few paragraphs, answer it well. Okay, so question 5, just move on. Give 3 reasons why these factors may contribute to poor Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health. Okay, so we've got a lack of relevant and culturally appropriate education, poor living conditions, and feelings of isolations and vulnerability. So under each of those, you need to give a clear explanation for each factor of, again, why these factors contribute to poor Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health. Okay, so it's why poor living conditions, the exposure to some of the living conditions that they have, how does that impact their health? Okay, so very straightforward. Question 6. So read the Aboriginal practice checklist from the Aboriginal Health and Medical Research Council. Identify and discuss 3 key concepts of how you could incorporate these into your workplace. So on the Reconciliation Action Plan, so you'll need to reflect the programs or services of your own organisation or where you work, and reference 3 examples of way to encourage involvement and how you could incorporate this into the workplace. Okay, and yeah, just expand on that. Once again, I think yes, 3, so good paragraph on each of those just to explain your answer and link it to your workplace. Okay, how that would be incorporated, what would be best practice. Okay. So that would be sufficient. I've done additional content here. This is actually an interesting little YouTube clip. And I think it's about 13-15 minutes long. If you've got the time to watch it, it'd be good. It just, all these little things sometimes just open your mind, it expands your thinking and your knowledge. So if you can't click on the link, just copy and paste it into your search bar. And this is about how culture affects your personality. So it's it's an interesting one, about, makes you sort of look back and think, oh, okay, especially some of us have quite multicultural, come from different countries, come abroad, and just how it affects our personality. So yeah, that's a good one. Okay, we'll just go through some housekeeping. Follow your due dates. They are in Connect on the unit page, on the overview page, and on the right-hand side in the calendar. If you require an extension, please read the TAFE rules and make sure you align with these. Extensions are only granted in like exceptional circumstances. So don't use extensions as a fallback if you know, just they will be only given on merit. Okay, submitting assessments must be through Connect, must be uploaded through Connect. They will never be accepted by email, okay? So always through Connect. Plagiarism, again, it must be in your own words. No copy and pasting from the learner guide or outside resources. Information that you find that you would like to use, read it, rewrite it in your own words, and then put it into your assessment. Do not copy and paste. It will come up, we will know, and you'll just end up having to do a resubmission. Referencing, we encourage you to reference under each paragraph. It's not mandatory, but great practice to get into. So example like page 52 from the learner guide, where you got the information, or if you got it from an outside resource, copy and pasting. You can copy and paste. This is only one time you can. The link from the outside research that you to the page on the website where you got the information from. Okay, underneath the paragraph. Requesting support, so you can email the sci-fi team. I'll go through that with you in a minute on the next page. Resubmissions, assessment instructions are all there for you on Connect. Okay, and we'll just go recap the importance of these due dates. So yesterday, the 8th of May, assessment task 1 was due. So hopefully you've all got that in. If not, get it in today. Assessment 2, and if there's any issues, reach out. You know, if there are any issues, just reach out to us for support. Okay, that's what we're here for. Assessment 2 is due on the 22nd. So this assessment is due on the 22nd of May 23, and assessment 3 is due on the 5th of June 23. So don't miss the deadline. Keep on top of your study workload. You know, have a schedule. Any issues, reach out to us before so we can help support you through that. All right, so as I said, to contact us, sci-fi.north@queensland.edu.au. Make sure when you're emailing us that you include your name, your student number, the unit code, that your query is about, assessment number, question number, or numbers, and then just outline your query. Okay, ensure that the subject line of the email reflects the content of the email so that we can read the subject line and then go, okay, we know that it's that, rather than attention to, or, you know, something like that. So be specific and be clear. Okay, so next session will be next week, Tuesday next week, session 3 on the 16th of May at the same time, 10 to 10:30. And next session will be on assessment task 3. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you all next week.